Hello and welcome to A207CEC, Data Communications and Networking. My name is Nuruddin and I will be taking you through this module. Chapter 1. For A207, our objectives start with exploring the need for data communications and networking. Next, we introduce the basic concepts of network topology, and then we try to understand the differences between a LAN and a WAN. For data communications, anytime there is communication, we are sharing information. This applies whether we are using a computer or a network. In fact, all we need is a room full of people, and there will have to be some kind of communication. Once we move over to the electronic world, then the concept of networking starts to gain importance. The components in a network are straightforward and closely match what happens in real life. We start with a sender and a receiver, and in between sender and receiver, there has to be some sort of transmission medium. To act as the go-between or intermediary, we also have a set of rules, which we refer to as a protocol. Information today comes in different forms such as text, numbers, images, audio, and video. Communication between two devices can be simplex, half-duplex, or full duplex. A network is the interconnection of a set of devices capable of communication. In this definition, a device can be a host, such as a large computer, desktop, laptop, workstation, cellular phone, or security system. A device in this definition can also be a connecting device, such as a router, a switch, a modem that changes the form of data, and so on. A network must be able to meet a certain number of criteria. The most important of these are performance, reliability, and security. Before discussing networks, we need to define some network attributes. Let's have a quick look at some of the common types of networks. Initially, computers and accessories such as printers were expensive and out of the reach of the individual, so it made sense to connect more than one computer so as to share information and accessories. Printers and scanners were once large, bulky, and almost prohibitively priced. Computer-to-computer communication was known as peer-to-peer computing and still continues in some form to this day and age. The next logical step was to use a medium such as a cable to carry data between computers. The bus network was formed, but in those days, the coaxial cable in use was unwieldy and came with many limitations. Connecting the two ends of a bus network created a ring network, with all the connecting users sharing the same resources, but with slightly more reliability than a bus network. Eventually, it was found that having just one single network line to form the backbone of communications was unreliable and slow. Thus, a central device was introduced. Each end user was connected to this central hub via their own network cable, and now the network did not have a single point of failure anymore. This concept became known as a star network. A present-day ad hoc network replaces the hub with a high-speed switch, but the concept remains the same. A star network with all the nodes individually connected to each other is called a mesh, or a full mesh network. This boasts similar speeds as a star network, but with much greater reliability in case any individual link or node is unreachable. After defining networks in the previous section and discussing their physical structures, we need to discuss different types of networks we encounter in the world today. The criteria of distinguishing one type of network from another is difficult and sometimes confusing. We use a few criteria such as size, geographical coverage, and ownership to make this distinction. A local area network, LAN, is usually privately owned and connects some hosts in a single office, building, or campus. Depending on the needs of an organization, a LAN can be as simple as 2 PCs and a printer in someone's home office. Or it can extend throughout the company and include audio and video devices. Each host in a LAN has an identifier, an address that uniquely defines the host in the LAN. A packet sent by a host to another host carries both the source host and the destination host's addresses. A wide area network, WAN, is also a connection of devices capable of communication. However, there are some differences between a LAN and a WAN. A LAN is normally limited in size. A WAN has a wider geographical span, spanning a town, a state, a country, or even the whole world. A LAN interconnects hosts. A WAN interconnects connecting devices such as switches, routers, or modems. A LAN is normally privately and fully owned by the organization that uses it. A WAN, on the other hand, is normally created and run by communication companies and is leased by an organization that uses it. An internet is a switched network in which a switch connects at least two links together. A switch needs to forward data from a network to another network when required. The two most common types of switched networks are circuit-switched and packet-switched networks. To sum up the earlier concepts, an internet, note the lowercase I, is two or more networks that can communicate with each other. The most notable internet is called the Internet with an uppercase I, and is composed of thousands of interconnected networks. The Internet today is an internetwork that allows any user to become part of it. The user, however, needs to be physically connected to an ISP. The physical connection is normally done through a point-to-point WAN. Now that we have given an overview of the Internet and its protocol, let us give a brief history of the Internet. This brief history makes it clear how the Internet has evolved from a private network to a global one in less than 40 years. There were some communication networks, such as telegraph and telephone networks, before 1960. These networks were suitable for constant rate communication at that time, which meant that after a connection was made between two users, the encoded message telegraphically or voice, telephony, could be exchanged. A computer network, on the other hand, should be able to handle bursty data, which means data received at variable rates at different times. The world needed to wait for the packet-switched network to be invented. Today, we witness a rapid growth in both the infrastructure and new applications. The Internet today is a set of peer networks that provide services to the whole world. What has made the Internet so popular is the invention of new applications which run on a bedrock of standards or protocols. An Internet standard is a thoroughly tested specification that is useful to and adhered to by those who work with the Internet. It is a formalized regulation that must be followed. There is a strict procedure by which a specification attains Internet standard status. A specification begins as an Internet draft. The Internet draft is a working document that is a work in progress, with no official status yet and a 6-month lifetime. The Internet, with its roots primarily in the research domain, has evolved and gained a broader user base with a significant commercial activity. Various groups that coordinate Internet issues have guided this growth and development. This concludes our discussion on Chapter 1 of Data Communications and Networking. Remember to post any questions onto Google Classroom. Work hard, work smart, work your way to your dreams.